Namaskar and hello to everyone. Hope you are all well and safe in your home. I am Sujay Majumdar, Curator Science City Kolkata, warmly welcomes you all in today's online interview session on present and post COVID-19, the emerging and future challenges for dentistry. Soon we will be talking to Dr. Anjan Jana in this regard. Dr. Anjan Jana is a MDS and at present he is associated with Malda Medical College and Hospital as an assistant professor. Welcome Dr. Anjan Jana in today's session.
Namaskar.
Dear viewers, you all are aware that coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19, though originated in Wuhan, China, but gradually becomes a major public health challenge for not only China but also countries around the world. The World Health Organization (WHO) has announced that the outbreaks of the novel coronavirus 2019 as pandemic on 11th March 2020. Globally, as of 8 June 2020, almost 68 lakhs people are infected by this disease and around 4 lakh people died. The outbreak has upended the life and business in unimaginable ways. Interestingly, due to the characteristics of dental treatment settings or processes, the risk of cross-infection is very high between patients and dental practitioners. Therefore, for dental practices in private or in hospital, requires a strict and effective infection control protocols. Yes, we will learn all these things in details from Dr. Anjan Jana. This discussion will be based on doctor's first-hand experience, relevant guidelines, research and essential knowledges about COVID-19, nosocomial infection in dental settings, and also the recommended management protocols for dental practitioners. Here, I would like to mention one important thing is that this type of program on digital platform is a part of initiation taken by Science City Kolkata, which is a part of National Council of Science Museums, Ministry of Culture, Government of India. The main purpose of this type of program is to stay connected with its visitor and to make its visitors up to date with current happenings in India and around the world. Well, Dr. Jana, before we go to the specifics, I have a personal curiosity that probably represents the same of many other persons like me. I cannot resist the temptation of asking that question first to set the ball rolling. A dentist chamber is a display of contraptions. The moment we enter the room, we are engulfed with a sense of awe towards the whole look of such interconnected multi-pronged devices. May I request you, Dr. Anjan Jana, to first describe this instrument for us in brief so that we can know how they help you and us to get our dental health and aesthetics in order. Please, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Majumdar, for your nice introduction. First of all, I would like to thank all the officials of Science City, Kolkata, especially you for giving me such a nice platform to share few things about post-COVID dentistry. Nowadays, about everyone is bit aware about this COVID-19 and its possible prevention, like cleaning hand, maintaining social distance, wearing mask, sanitizations, everything. And in near future, it is going to be a part of our life. Like in your office, home, marketplace, everywhere you have to keep all these things maintained, like wearing mask, frequently cleaning hand, all these things. And this thing is also applicable for health sector. But the problem with the health sector, you cannot maintain social distance. You have to touch your patient. You have to feel the pulse of your patient. And there are some sector in the healthcare segment like dentistry, ENT, ophthalmology, where the workers really come very close to the patient face. So there are more chances of getting disease transmission. And one thing Mr. Majumdar said very well, that dentist chamber is a display of contraptions. So there are so many instruments, and this is a real challenge to keep all the instrument in proper sterile condition. This is the greatest challenge for us. Okay, as you request to showing our instrument to our viewers, let's have a look what are the instruments we generally used. Okay, let's talk about our working area. This is the dental unit, the sitting area, light unit, control box, spittoon and dental handpiece. Now there are different kind of dental handpiece available in the dentist office. I can show you. These are the high speed handpiece, air rotor handpiece. They are rotating around 3 to 4 lakh RPM. And these are the slow speed handpiece. This is for micromotor, and they are having around 20,000 to 40,000 RPM rotation speed. This is a geared handpiece, means this is we can change the rotation of the handpiece according to our need. Now there are different kind of geared handpiece, like we can increase or decrease the average motor speed by using this kind of handpiece. Now the most important nowadays in COVID situation is the air rotor handpiece. Now why it is so important? Because as I just told, the average rotation speed is around 3 to 4 lakhs. It is rotated in so high speed, and in this high speed it generates lot of heat. So to dissipate this heat, we use water as a coolant. Now you can see, if I start the handpiece, there is so much of aerosol generation. See? You can see how the air and water coming out from the handpiece vein. And when these aerosol mixed with patient saliva, there are various bacteria, virus, fungi are mixed with this aerosol, and that is the main harmful effect for the health of the patient as well as the health of the dentist. Now there are other things we used in our clinic, like this is X-ray machine, this is autoclave, generally used for sterilization purpose, that we discuss when we talk about sterilization. This is laser unit used for soft tissue surgery. This is light fluid unit for restoration. This is micromotor, and this is endomotor. There are different instruments used for different purpose. Now let's talk about the sterilization part. Come to my sterilization room. Okay, this is the sterilization unit. This is the most important area of any dental clinic. Now before COVID, we are talking or we are concerned only about the patient safety. The sterilization we maintain for the patient only. But post-COVID or during COVID, it is not only for the patient safety, but for the safety of dentist own as well as the safety of the entire dental team, all the staff members. So it is very important. Now before sterilization of any instrument, it is important to clean it properly. There should not be any visible debris or any blood stain or any soil part. So if I assume this is a used instrument, first you have to clean it properly. So what we do? We do under running water, scrub it with soap water properly, so there is no visible debris or blood stain on the instrument. Then we use ultrasonic device, ultrasonic cleaning device. This is an ultrasonic cleaning device. We put it inside the ultrasonic cleaning device and start the cycle. Now with ultrasonics vibration, there are micro debris staying on the instrument is cleaned off. Now after cleaning with ultrasonic device, we put it either into a simple boiler. This is a simple boiler. There is a heater. We just put the instrument here and close the lid and leave it for approximate 45 minutes. For a effective sterilization, we need at least 45 minutes in a boiling water. So there is no spore of bacteria within or on the instrument. Now, one important thing or most important criteria, suppose you sterilize your instrument. Now, after getting sterilized, you have to keep your instrument sterile until you are using. So what we do? We use this pouch. I talk about autoclave. So before putting the instrument into the autoclave, we place it after cleaning with ultrasonic cleaner, and after drying it, we put the instrument into the pouch and we seal it like this way. Now this instrument pouch, along with the pouch, we put it inside the autoclave. Now what is the benefit of this pouch? This instrument, this pouch keep the instrument sterile until it's used. Means after autoclaving within the autoclave machine or after autoclaving, we keep this pouch into the box, and until and unless we remove the instrument from the pouch, it will not get infected. So it is very important. So that's why the pouch is very important for keeping the sterilization maintained till its use. Another thing I have forgot to mention, this is a glass bead sterilizer. It's actually known as a rapid sterilizer. You can see in glass bead sterilizer, there is a very tiny glass particle inside. See, there is a very tiny glass particles, and these glass bead sterilizer are able to generate 240 to 250 degrees Celsius of heat within this glass bead. Now in this high heat, instruments are getting sterilized very fast. It takes hardly 10 to 15 seconds to be sterilize the instrument. So this glass bead we can use for rapid sterilization, where mainly in between two patients where we need very rapid sterilizations, like very small seizures or any suture holding forceps. For rapid sterilization we use this glass bead sterilizer. Now there are some instruments which we cannot put into the pouch. So what we do? So in unwrapped instrument we use these UV chambers. Okay, this is the ultraviolet cabinet where we can see our ultraviolet lamp inside the box. So after sterilizations of the unwrapped instrument, that means which are not putting inside our pouch, we can store it here, so that till it's used, they are not exposed to the external air and get decontaminated. So it is the storage cabinet for already sterilized instrument till its use. Now next come to the another part I show, that is formalin chamber. This is a formalin chamber because we know all instruments are not heat sensitive, or you can say we cannot use heat for sterilizations of the all instrument. There are some plastic instrument or some rubber instrument. So these instrument we sterilized into this formalin chamber. So this is a very small formalin chamber having different rack, and we put some formalin tablet in this area, the bottom tray. Now the gas formed from the formalin chamber, the gas formed from the formalin tablet sterilized the whole instrument. So this instrument is particularly used for heat sensitive instrument, means where we cannot use heat to sterilize them. So these all are the sterilizations instruments we use for keeping our instruments sterile. Now from this you can really understand a dental clinic having so many different kind of instruments. So how difficult for us to keep all them in sterile condition. And in this COVID situation, if any instrument getting infected by any chance, we have to sterile whole unit, whole segment, and it is a happily on job.
Thank you, doctor, for such a elaborate demonstration of the instruments. Coming to the next question. In today's world, we frequently heard about PPE for health worker. What is PPE and how it is helpful?
Well, regarding PPE, the full form is the personal protective equipments. So anything give you protection is your PPE. That can be a gloves, mask, face shield, goggles, shoe cover, everything which gives you protection is a PPE. One question or always it is coming in our mind, at what time what level of precautions should be taken. So there are certain level of protection in medical sector. It's depend actually on what kind of risk or exposure you are expecting. So if there is no aerosol generating work, your level of protection may be little less. If there are aerosol generation, there are more chances of disease transmission, so your level of protection will be much higher. In cases where there are chances of more disease transmission or more chances of getting infected, you always have to wear N95 mask, goggles, face shield, and some kind of impermeable gown, means through which fluid cannot penetrate. Now, being a dentist, I always prefer to take utmost level of PP. Now why? If you see the work type or work field of the dentist, we are coming very close to the patient mouth. And all you know, now COVID-19 is contaminate through the droplet. Now even a simple procedure like examining patient, if by any chance your patient cough or even talk, there may be chances of droplet coming from his mouth will directly contaminate you. So it is wise for a dentist to take the most or the highest level of protection even during their patient examination.
Well, Dr. Jana, in 2007, Dr. Jolanta Sisir-Manaska, Department of Pedodontics, Medical University of Lublin, Poland, once mentioned in one of his papers that dental bioaerosol is an operational hazard in a dentist workplace. Today, that is in 2020, with the backdrop of COVID-19 pandemic, how much true or relevant it is?
Yes, it's absolutely true. When we use these high-speed handpiece, there are a lot of aerosol generation, and these aerosol mixed with patient saliva, which contains various bacteria, virus, fungi, and lot of other microorganisms. It's true. That's why we use some high volume suction, or we can use rubber dam to minimize this aerosol generation, or better to say, to minimize the spread of this aerosol. But one more thing you have to understand, we are within the air, and this air naturally contains so many kind of microorganisms. So we cannot get rid from these bacteria, viruses. We have to work along with these bacteria, viruses every day. So it's not a very harm, and along with this, our body having our own defense system that can be take care of these viruses or other microorganisms. But the problem with this COVID-19, we are not known much about this new virus, and it has very high infectivity rate. That's why we are so concerned about this new virus.
Dr. Jana, from your answer, one thing is clear that mainly the dental handpieces are producing aerosol, which is basically a mixture of air coming from handpiece, water flowing from dental unit water lines, patient saliva, and is always accompanied by splatter. So my question is, why not changing the design of handpiece, or is it at all possible, or are there any working is going on?
Okay, before answering this question, let me discuss about some mechanism of dental handpiece. What are the handpiece we generally use? So in dentistry, we have very high speed handpiece, one low speed handpiece, and in between. The handpiece, the high speed handpiece, we generally use are our aerator. It is actually a air driven handpiece. The RPM is around 3 lakh to 4 lakh. Now we have some electric motor that driven the handpiece. These are actually slow speed handpiece. The RPM is around 40,000, and in between we have some geared handpiece. Means we can either mechanically increase or decrease the speed of a particular handpiece. So in this geared handpiece, we use some 1:5 gear handpiece, which use with this 40,000 RPM micromotor, and we get ultimately 2 lakh RPM handpiece. So this is in between the 40,000 and the 3 or 4 lakh. Now enamel, the most outer covering of the tooth, is the hardest structure of our body. So if I want to make a hole or want to cut this enamel, it is very hard to cut. So we need some high speed handpiece and some very tough substance to cut it. For this we use some diamond grit bars along with these high speed handpiece to cut the enamel. Now what happens when we use these high speed handpiece? There is a tremendous heat generation, and this heat can damage the tooth itself, the nerve of the tooth. So we use some water as a coolant just to dissipate the heat. So there is no chance of cutting the tooth dry or avoid using water. Alternatively, for this COVID situation, we can use these slow speed handpiece where we need absolutely, like in emergency condition, or we can use these 2 lakh RPM handpiece intermittently with gradual syringing with the water. But we cannot get rid of this aerosol. That can be minimized. And nowadays there is a new handpiece in the market. I am not much known about this. There is a which a company says there is a less aerosol generation in compared to the conventional aerosol handpiece.
Wow, this is very interesting information we have came to know today, that the speed of handpiece cutter is 3 to 4 lakhs revolution per minute. It's wonderful. At least I was not aware. From your answer, one thing is clear that for the design of your handpiece, engineers are already working on it. Let's hope for the best. Now my next question is there any specific or separate WHO guideline for the dentistry in view of COVID-19 pandemic? If it is yes, please share with us so that our visitors can update themselves.
In this situation, WHO gives the overall guideline for this pandemic, and every country having their own dental regulatory authority, like ADA. In India we have IDA, Indian Dental Association. So we have our proper guideline for dental clinics. But one thing is common, all of them says avoid all elective and non-emergency procedures. Do just emergency procedures, which is unavoidable.
Well, Dr. Jana, we would like to know what are the different methods of reducing exposure to dental aerosol, or how we can reduce the dental aerosol?
See, with the present handpiece design, we cannot reduce the aerosol generation. But what we can do, we can reduce the load of the aerosol, or better to say the load of the organisms within a particular environment, especially in the dental clinic inside. There are different methods like air sterilizations, where we can use negative pressure room, we can use ultraviolet for room air sterilizations, or we can fumigate the room. But all these things are time consuming as well as costly. So practically what we can do, we just increase the exchange of the room air per hour. What is this? Means you have to allow the fresh air to get inside the room and remove the inside air into the outside. So what are the easiest method? First, open all the window, let the natural air come inside. You can use simple exhaust fan, you can use cross ventilation, and try to avoid air conditioning. Why I am saying trying to avoid the air conditioning? What happens with the air condition? It actually rotates the inside air. Now suppose two person in a room are of two corners. Now one having COVID positive and one is normal patient. Now if they don't touch each other, there are no chances of getting second person to be infected. But if you are in a air conditioned room, now the droplet from the first patient who is COVID positive, the virus coming into the air will circulate through this air condition into the entire room. So, though the second person is maintaining safe distance, he will be get infected. So it is wise to use natural air, especially the cross ventilation, and try to avoid air conditioning. This is the only way we can do. There is one new thing in the market, that is external suction, that companies claim these suction having the high volume suction capacity, and it just placed outside the patient's mouth, and when the aerosol generates, this suck the whole air, and it has UV sterilizations inside, and it has the HEPA filter. But I don't know how, because it is a newer thing in the market. I don't have practical experience of using it, and I don't know how effective this is. Let them come in the market, then we can actually know what is going on.
It is true that the problems we are discussing so far are genuine and really a concern for the health of dentist and his or her assistant and patients too. But at the same time, if we try to see from patient's point of view how they will get rid of from their pains or problems, or where they will go and how they will do their treatment if not immediately doctors resume the treatment, how to overcome this problem?
There is no doubt all the people are suffering, especially the patients. But all of us have to realize or understand the situation. So why these clinics are closed today? It's not due to the doctors are afraid of this virus, but we don't want to spread the infection among the patient, and we don't want to spread the infection within the society. Because in present situation, we don't know who is COVID positive and who is COVID negative. Maximum of the patient is not showing any symptom. So if unknowingly a patient who is COVID positive and you treat them, you will get infected, and unknowingly you also infect another 10 or more persons. So it is your duty. Don't be in hurry. Please realize the situation. Please understand the situation. All of us are at a very critical stage. One wrong step can destroy everything. So be patient. Go slowly. Obviously you have to treat the patient, but please avoid any non-essential treatment. Yes, everywhere emergency treatment are open, and according to our IDA, they have a proper guideline which I discussed already. Limit your patient appointment. Take history of a patient over telephone. Maintaining the social distance in the waiting area. Sanitize the area after each patient. Use pre-mouth rinse like 0.2% propionic iodine or using 1% hydrogen peroxide. And obviously take the highest level of protection. If you see the infrastructure of a third world country and the first world country and the patient doctor ratio, there's a hell and heaven difference. So you cannot apply the same theory in the first world country and the same theory in the third world country. It's not possible. If you see the patient to dentist ratio in UK, it's around 1:1600 approximately. But in India, it is 1:8000 in urban area and 1:50,000 in rural area. Now imagine if you roughly open your clinic, how you maintain the social distance. So don't be in a hurry. Give some time to normalize the situation or even lower the rate of the viral load or the positive patient. Arrange every protective equipment in your clinic so you are not getting infected and simultaneously will not transmit any disease from you to one patient or one patient to one patient, another patient. It is utmost important.
Sir, we are often talking about the supply chain. In dentistry, there also exists a very strong supply chain line. Many organizations and persons are involved in it. My question is how they are affected due to COVID-19 and what is the direct impact on dentistry?
It's not about only supply chain. There are so many things are associated with dental clinic, like your lab technicians, your hygienist, your co-workers, your attendants. So definitely all will be suffered, because if your clinic is not going to run, everything associated with you is obviously will be in trouble. They will suffer. But hope that phase will not last longer. We'll overcome it very soon. Hope for the best. We'll always think positive.
Dr. Jana, we are almost at the end of our program. We will take one or two questions more. Now, Dr. Jana, it is heard that due to insufficient awareness of health risks, working habits and economic factors are the reason why dentists do not apply the recommended methods of protection against the influence of bioaerosol and splatter. But due to COVID-19, the situation is absolutely different. And we believe that the entire dental practitioners will be bound to follow the recommended methods of protection to prevent infection. In that case, do you think the cost of dental treatment will not remain same as before and it will be little costlier, or are you thinking something different?
Yes, it is the most pertinent and extremely challenging question in today's scenario. As I am not an economist, I cannot tell you the exactly how much amount or why these price is going to be high. But as a clinician, I can tell you something. One PP in today's scenario is costing around 500 to 1000, depending on the quality. One N95 mask is selling around 200 to 300. Apart from these goggles, this face shield, gloves, everything. If we ignoring our manpower cost, every day you need minimum of 2 PP, one for you and one for your attendant. So Keeping all other costs static, your cleaning running charge is going to be high, minimum 1000 to 1500 per day. Keeping everything out of mind, only the cost of the PP is going to high by 1000 to 1500 rupees per day. So in a common sense, there are high chances or there are possibilities some amount or some price may be high, but obviously in this the situation is tough for all, so it's not going, we will think in other way to minimize our cost, or we have to think some way that our patients will not going to be hurt so much.
This is our last question, or rather we can say we are seeking your advice or tips for our visitors how to keep our oral or dental hygiene healthy and safe in this tough time when we are all in lockdown in our home.
Okay, as you know, oral hygiene is as important as our physical fitness. There are studies which shows the relationship between oral hygiene and the cardiac disease. There is also a vice versa relation between diabetes and the oral hygiene. Means if you have diabetes, you are more prone to get gum disease like periodontitis, periodontal abscess, and oppositely, if you have poor oral hygiene, it is more difficult to control the sugar level. So it is important to maintain the oral health for your physical fitness also. Now we can categorize the oral hygiene in two ways. One is the cleaning part and one is changing food habit or the dietary modification. So if we come in cleaning part, it is mandatory to brush your tooth twice daily. One is at the morning and one is after dinner. So why it is important after dinner? More the time your food stick on your tooth, it harms more. So we will not allow the food stuff to decay overnight. So it is mandatory. Second, which one we always neglect, is the dental flossing. Because when we brush, the bristle will not reach into the interdental area. The area where two teeth contact with each other. So it is very important to clean that area particularly. And we can clean that area with dental floss, and it is easily available in any medicine shop. Second, the dietary modification. More the sugar content, there are more chances of tooth decay. So limit your sugar containing food. Second, limit the frequency of the food intake. What happens with each time you take your food, there is an abrupt dropping of the pH. When you take your food, it becomes more acidic with the lowering of the pH and it decays the tooth. So try to lessen the frequency, especially for sugar containing food. Third, rinse your mouth with each food. Sometimes patient asks, please tell my child to stop taking chocolate. Now you think practically, is it possible for a child not to take chocolate? So better limit the frequency of the chocolate intake and make it a habit after taking chocolate or any sugar containing food, rinse your mouth. So food will not stick to your mouth. So these simple measures can help you to keep your oral health in good condition. Twice brushing, flossing, frequent mouthwash. After mouthwash means not any chemical mouthwash I am referring. It is only with water, so that there is no food stuff staying within your mouth. This simple measure can help you to keep your mouth healthy.
Thank you once again, Dr. Anjan Jana. We are thankful to you for sparing your valuable time with Science City Kolkata. You have explained the things very lucidly, and many interesting facts we came to know, and that is why we believe that our visitors will be enriched from this conversation. So thank you, sir. Thank you once again. We are also thankful to our director, Sri Subhabrata Chaudhary, for giving the approval to go ahead with this program. Also a special thanks to our art and editing team for their timely response and working from remote with all odds and with very little resources. Thank you to all. Please wear mask, stay home and stay healthy. Namaskar.